Shawn right here from MuscularDevelopment.com with David Baye. We're in Melbourne, Australia for the Fit Expo and Pro Bodybuilding Australian Championships. David, I believe this is essentially the last time, because next year in 2015, the Arnold Sports Festival comes here.
Yeah, we spoke with promoter Tony Doherty a little bit earlier. They're adding the Arnold brand to this show next year. Now, Tony's been a longtime friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger. They've spoken back and forth about adding this to the already growing list of international Arnold shows. We have the Arnold Brazil, we have the Arnold Europe that's being held in Spain. As we know, they're adding an Arnold South Africa, so why not expand, bring it to Australia? For all essential purposes, I think the show is going to be pretty much the same. I think they're going to keep it here at the expo. You guys can see in the background, this is an absolutely huge expo. A couple of differences that we're going to see is more prize money, and with more prize money, maybe a few more competitors coming here over from the top spots that we see at the Arnold next year.
Well, let's get to it. Speaking of top competitors, Shawn Roden just took second last week at the Arnold Classic, the 26th anniversary. He is in the house. Branch Warren, who won this contest only 2 short years ago, is back in the fray. Ed second to none, Fred Biggie Smalls. I mean, this lineup looks pretty good.
It is a good lineup. A couple of guys in the top 5 that we're missing Dennis Wolf, we're missing Cedric McMillan, and Victor Martinez, but otherwise a pretty good handful of guys from the Arnold. And your second place finisher in the 212 from the Arnold, David Henry, is going to be hitting up the open division. We saw David a little bit earlier. He looks absolutely crazy, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares next to some of the bigger guys.
Well, this should be Shawn Roden's contest to walk away with. Shawn Roden, by comparison to the other lineup, I don't think there is very much of a comparison. I think the fight's going to be for second, third, and fourth. That's where the interesting matchup will be. We also have Pro Figure, and we have the 2-time Arnold Classic champion, Candice Keene, trying to get an Australian title, but she's going to have to go through Erin Stern, who won here a year ago.
Yeah, Erin, this is her first time competing this year after finishing second at the Olympia last year. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. Candice, obviously 2-time winner at the Arnold, placed well at the Olympia last year, so it's going to be close between those two. I think you could flip a coin, and we'll see what happens with that one.
Well, the beauty of this show is that right now, behind us, in about 2 short hours, we're going to have the Australian Amateur Championships taking place. And the winner will have an opportunity tomorrow to stand on a pro stage with the IFBB seasoned professionals, and they get a very strong contingency of supporters that come out because of that fact. It's really mind-blowing to think that they may be here trying to compete for an Australian title and then tomorrow competing for a pro championship.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we saw last year in November at the Tijuana Pro. They had the Mexican nationals there as well. The 2 gentlemen who earned their pro cards were given the opportunity to compete Saturday night at the IFBB event. Obviously, having just earned their pro cards, they're not going to be favorites at the show, but nevertheless, it's an opportunity to step on the IFBB stage for the first time and in their hometown in front of friends, family, things like that.
Well, no doubt. Nothing will be the same after tomorrow night when it wraps up. As a matter of fact, it'll conclude on Sunday. Today, we have a huge expo going in there with lots of vendors, lots of supporters of the sport, lots of demonstrations as well, I might add. They had the Pole Fitness Championships going on inside there last year. Tony Doherty does nothing small around here. He's got the major support of all the locals. This is a massive convention center. I don't think next year is going to be anything similar to this when you put the Arnold Schwarzenegger brand to it, because you're going to have people clamoring to get some more of this vendor spot, prize money going up, and who knows, the Arnold champion may come across from Ohio next year.
Yeah, anytime you tag Arnold on anything, it's going to grow, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better. Now, this expo hall is big. Once you get inside, we're not at the Arnold Classic here. Right. There's not, nearly the number of vendors, but like you said, Tony Doherty does everything big, and I think what you're going to see next year is you're going to see a lot more of those vendors. A lot of the companies, they're going to want to be represented here in Australia. They're going to want to be part of the Arnold brand name. So I think we can only expect things to grow for next year.
Well, with hard work comes the reward. Tony Doherty doing things big here in Melbourne, Australia. For David Baye, I'm Shawn Webb. We'll be back tomorrow with the pro prejudging wrap-up here in Melbourne, Australia.